Hi, and welcome to Saturday Strolling with the Orchids. Today I'm going to start off with the Phalaenopsis inscriptioniosus. I know, I say it wrong every time. It's okay. If you've been here long enough, you will know that I don't know how to pronounce words. And if you're new, you just learned something new about me. The problem with this is she used to be such a beautiful plant. Let me just move her over here real quick. This is what I have left. It does look like there might be a leaf trying to come out, but I also think she had some kind of a buggeroo on her because when she went fast. So I have put her in subdued lighting. I've been giving her CalMag once a month, and I want to just take her out, see if there's something going on underneath. Maybe she doesn't have enough roots. I need to put her in a smaller pot, or I just need to replace her. So let's take her out real quick. She is in a self-watering setup with the LECA, because I was going to take her out and I was going to flush her, and I said, well, and I was going to go ahead and open her up, get inside, and I said, well, let me just do it with the peeps, and then this way, if this is our last time seeing her, then it is what it is. Sorry for all that noise, but it is LECA beads. They are loud. Well, no, she's got lots and lots of roots in here, so let's see. Maybe I just need to be a little more patient then. Let's see if I can do this without messing everything up. Oh, look at the roots. They're gorgeous. Look at those beautiful roots. Okay, I guess I just need to be a little more patient and give her time to recover from whatever stress she had. There are a few in here that are desiccated that need to come off. But overall, I mean, they're beautiful roots. Look at that. Gorgeousness. Okay, well, do I want to again, if you're new here, I like to mess with things. Let me see if I can do this without messing a bunch up. So this is, let me just look really closely here. I don't know if that's a new leaf or not. It does look like it might be. All right, so we will keep her then. We'll give her a little more time. And I did have a little wick stick in here, a little ropey thing. So I'm just gonna set her back in her pot. Let me take the inner portion out. And then I will, because in her pot at the moment is some CalMag, so I will, since these roots are used to staying hydrated, I will put her in there. I'm going to go add a little bit more in, because right now it's just kind of at the bottom there. Go ahead and fill it up. Let her soak while we finish looking at the rest of the orchids. I will turn you around and let's get started. Let's start with my zygopetalum. I'm going to call it a zygopetalum just because of the way the leaves are growing, very similar to my other zygopetalums I have. Could be a zygonesia. Don't know. It's a no ID that I purchased back in 22, I believe, May 22, maybe 21. I got really excited when it started growing this growth. But that's a sad growth. Realized why. That's the heater. So it heats up. The leaves themselves don't get heat on them, but being by the heater, this is actually drying out a lot quicker. I realized that because I watered it about a week ago. It's in moss. I have the mask around it. She's kind of sitting low, so I figured, she's staying damp. Pulled her out. She was bone dry 3 days later. So I am watering her a little more often, and hopefully that will get her going. She does have roots down in the pot. I would pull her out and show you, but it's a finagle to get this pot out. I have to have two hands. I think I've lost this African violet, and this cup back here, I call this my orchid graveyard. These are all the orchids that, since I started doing this, I think it was 2 years ago, that have gone on to live with the orchid fairies. Another one here, self-watering pot. Don't know what was in here. Obviously an orchid, a Phalaenopsis. It was not one of the ICPUs. It was one of my personal Don't know what happened. There it is. That used to be an ICPU. Yes, I'm in the process of cleaning. And I realized something, that I dust every week, but I have stopped the habit of wiping down my orchid leaves at least once a month. And since then, I've noticed I've got more mealybugs. I don't know if there is any correlation in that, but because I have been dealing with more mealybugs than usual lately since I stopped wiping the leaves, guess who's going to start wiping her leaves again once a month? My lady right here, she's trying. She is trying. I believe, let me pull her down real quick. Yes. So she is starting some root growth. Poor sad thing. This used to be such a gorgeous, gorgeous orchid. She's a no ID. I call her Pixie. She was such a beauty when I bought her. And then, well, I'm not sure what I did to her, but she objected. She literally objected. And then this is one of the September ICPUs that is finally starting a new leaf. Don't see any active roots at the moment. And I will be doing an update on the rest of the ICPUs that we have. I know we just did one for the November ones. Let's see. My little baby spider plant is off of the mama up there. It broke off, and I did get that from Ken over at the Orchid Supply Store, which he does sell regular house plants. He does sell orchids, orchid supplies, houseplant supplies, bird houses. I can't wait to put these outside this year. But if you want to go and get 12% off on your order, use coupon code TRISH at checkout. And then Miss Morgan, she's just growing leaves. She's going to bloom for us again. She's such a beautiful, beautiful pink. And then I believe that's another pink one up there. No, that's the Mendenhall. I moved these two. That's the Mendenhall. It's one of my little Hoyas that's struggling. And then we have the Equestris here, working on her new leaf. And I've been keeping the moss that she's in. Let me see if I can do this without dropping. Let's see, get it, because there's a little thumbtack. But I've been keeping the moss more damp. I just watered it this morning, but it will spread because the back is dry. I just poured it in the front. This is a pink Phalaenopsis. That's literally the name of it, pink. And, well, this last leaf is still growing. I'm hoping it fattens out like this one because I really like the bigger leaves. My Deliciosum Hookeriana is, well, it is. Let's just say that. Got spring fragrance here with lots. Let's see if we can zoom in here. Lots of root activity, new growth. Got some root activity there, and I believe there's some more back in here, right down in here. I really, really want to dig into her, but I'm going to wait one more year. I'm going to let her reestablish herself. She really, really suffered outside last year. I mean, you can see all the grasshoppers loved this one. Ate this entire leaf, ate on this one, big chunk out here, nibbled on the new growth there. So I'm definitely not going to grow her outside next year or in 2024 because apparently she is a tasty treat. And that is part of what happened with her decline is the grasshoppers ate the leaves, so she had a hard time photosynthesizing. But now she's slowly coming back into her own. So I will leave her for this growing season, and then we'll get into her in 2025. My Horus Maxima back here, also working on that new growth. And I can't remember which one of you suggested a calcium deficiency might be causing this blackening of new root tips and new leaves. So I have increased the calcium on a lot of the ones that are doing that to see if that doesn't help improve that one. Did move my Yellow King from in front of the east-facing window because I needed to put something else there. She's doing fine, sitting right here. And I don't see a lot of root activity here. I did just water these guys last night with calcium. No seaweed, just calcium. And down here, This is one of our November. This is the one that had the spike that I cut off to encourage some vegetative growth. And I switched her and my mini Phalaenopsis here, another, I think she's white with pink or pink with white. But she was just getting too much anthocyanin, so I moved her forward. Down here, this is the iris that we repotted back, I believe it was in September. Yeah, September of 23. And I said, give her about 6 months and she's going to start some root growth. Well, it's about 5 months, maybe 5.5 months. And there we have it, ladies. We have a brand new root. And then another little root nubbin right there, getting ready to pop out. So once she gets started on her roots, she goes to town. And real exciting. So we did look at, this is one of the November ICPUs that we just looked at. I believe it was last week. I will link the video below. I said this was the one that she looks the worst, but is the best because of the new root growth. Look what else I found on her. We now have us a spike. We're going to see what she actually looks like. We're going to see her lovely colors. And I am going to let her bloom out because she is senescing this leaf, but it is one of her older leaves. She's got these that are going to support her, so I will let her go on and do her thing. And then there's 2 more birdhouses down there that are going to go outside from Orchid Supply Store. And my jewel orchid sitting back there. When I put this one in here, it was literally just the piece hanging off here. And I think it was like another little growth right here. Look at the explosion. She isn't self-watering. I add water just as it's drying out because they do prefer a little more moisture than our, like say these Phalaenopsis and majority of our orchids. It is in regular house potting soil. I believe it's in the Miracle Grow. And I did amend it with some small bark, perlite, charcoal, heavy on the perlite. So it's doing marvelous, just marvelous. And then here we have the little stars. Isn't she gorgeous? Look at all that new growth. Look at all that new growth up there with the, oh, just love that thing. And down there at the bottom. And then the soft clouds here that has her little blooms with the little air plant sitting in there. And then we've got Speciosa, who is starting to work on a new leaf. Yep, there it is. And then I did move my Vandopsis over here, Parishii, because I needed space on that shelf where she used to sit. Down here, the Paphiopedilum Mel Star. I thought we were going to have some blooms, but it ended up, they were just leaves. It fooled me. And then hoping that my, let me get in here for you guys, my Phalaenopsis tetraspis Wilson, hopefully these blooms that are starting to bud out, and then eventually here, and then we have another spike peeking out right there. I hope I don't mess it up again and lose the blooms like I did last time. This is another one that the grasshoppers enjoyed last year. Not quite as much as my Spring Pleasure, but she's not going outside this year either, because this used to have nice big leaves on it and the grasshoppers ate that. This is her latest growth, and look what she's trying to do. So I haven't quite decided if I'm going to let her bloom or not. It will depend on if I see new roots coming. If I see new roots coming, then I'll let her bloom. If I don't see the new roots, as soon as the spike starts pushing through that sheath, we're cutting. Let's go over here. Hold on, I need to get my stool. Look at that pretty flower while I'm doing that. A little bit of shaky shake there, because I have to show you guys something. Shit. Where is it? There it is. So I moved this Bellina from the wall over there. That's why the Vandopsis is over there now. Because, let me see if I can angle it so we can see it. Can you see the little spiky spike coming right there? Well, I was hoping that this Bellina and this Bellina that I got at the same time would bloom at the same time. Well, this one is a little more advanced. Sorry if it's shaking, I am on my tippy toes here. That one looks like it's getting ready to swell out. So we will be able to compare the flowers and see if this is a true Bellina. I believe this is probably a Bellina cross, Or this could probably be the one that I actually ordered that was mislabeled maybe. I don't know. And our wild type Bellina back here, that spike is coming along rather nicely. And then look at Tai-Ching Fly Eagle. She is not to be outdone, guys. New leaf, roots, and look, she's about to bud out another flower, and we still have the 3 that we had originally. And then Mini Mark, I did stake her up just a little bit because now that these blooms are starting to open and she's starting to swell her buds, it is starting to get a little heavy, and it was sitting on this one, pressing on her. I know it probably didn't do anything, but mentally I wanted to get the weight off of my Bellina. My Samira, working on her lovely new leaf there. And then Cornucervi has her new growth coming. And then I noticed that Yalpon Evergreen should be coming into bloom soon as well. Hieroglyphica is just working on roots and leaves. And then this one, I want to get in this pot too, just to see what's going on. You probably can't see it. Oh, but you can. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Do you see the new leaf coming? Exciting. I'm so happy to see that. And that one is the Yin's Black Eagle. And look at the Violacea leaf. Look at that. So this is the one that I got from the Denver Orchid Show in fall. I think it was in September. But look at that beautiful leaf. Oh, still in her original nursery pot. But we have new root growth. So guess who's going to get a new home? She is. I'm so excited. And then one of my birthday orchids, I will let you read the tag because it has a very long name. And I'm assuming it's red, but we have new leaf, new roots, and then the spike that she came with. It looks like it's going to try to bud. I don't know if we can really get a good view of that, but it looks like it's going to try to bud. I'm not sure. But also, not only do we have active roots on the top, but I did see, or I thought I saw, there it is. We have active roots in the pot. So she is living La Vida Loca right now. And down here, look at all the growth down here. So Miss Lady here, I believe this is my Copper Queen, is doing rather well with her new growths. Our buds on the, oh my goodness, which one is this? The silk ball. Let me see. This is a Greek wax silk ball. Look at that. I just think that is so cute. 2 little buds. And over here, let me move my stool before I fall. This sheath is starting to fill with some air. It is some bubbling going on down here. So we should see a spike coming up shortly. And then the Leopoldii, dark one crossed with the Greek Wax Red Beauty. Well, I don't think, if I can get it around, let me move her. Let me just switch her around real quick so we can see. I don't think that that sheath is going to do much. Now, if it is, I might. I know I said I wasn't going to let her bloom, but I might because, as I'm sure you guys can see, look at all the new roots getting ready to come out. So we'll just have to wait and see what she's doing and if that even develops. And then the other side over here with the little baby growths, that one is actually coming along rather nicely, much better looking than the one to the left of it. And then over here with the Maikai, I am loving the new growth. Like, I am loving how she is growing. Just absolutely love it. And then a couple of weeks ago, I said Leopoldii, or not Leopoldii, get it together, Trish, green leopard, wasn't doing anything, and look what snuck out on me right there. And I think I saw another one swelling right down there. Let's see if we can get in there. There is a swelling down there. Now, whether she's going to start a 2-direction growth, I don't know. That would be wonderful. And then the Willinette Wong here with her bifoliate leaf, her first growth. She does have a sheath in there. I doubt it's going to do anything, but she does have this new growth here. And then there's another new growth coming. Oh, it's so packed. So, oh, there it is. Packed so tight in here. I don't want to move too much, but She does have another new growth here. So she's got these two right here that she's working on. My key lime, since I put it in this net basket with the burlap, it's really, like, these growths are really taking off. It was such a slow grower before, but it is really taken off. The little shadow in here, it's still in there, but I don't know if it's going to produce anything. But look how quickly the latest growth is coming on up. And then this one here is probably not going to bloom for us because it looks like it dried out. Whoops, it might help if you see it. It looks like it dried out, but I'm leaving this strap on here until these really, really harden off to keep it from flopping over like it likes to do, as you can see right here. And then the Dewy Forest has this beautiful new growth. Whoop, this one here. And she had, I thought, yep, there it is. Right down there, a nice new growth. And all of these guys will be getting their calcium this weekend. And my Elaine Taylor, yep, there it is. New growth right there. And then I believe she has, no, she's just finishing off these two from last year. Hippodomia's little possible spike sheath is just sitting there, not doing much of anything. Still need to get this one in a different pot. And the square pot that I bought, let me see. Oh, I'm going to show you guys in a minute. It's not going to be big enough because it's more of a rectangular pot than a square pot. So I don't think that's going to work. I may just have to go in there, divide her, and put her back in together. And this one I have been giving more calcium, and I have noticed that this is now more brown than it is black. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. Down here we have all of these Loveless. So Jane Austen actually has 2 new growths coming up. So now she's got 2 directions of growth instead of just the one. I'm waiting for this leaf to get done senescing so I can pop it off. It's such an eyesore. My Cattleya schilleriana has 2 directions of growth coming on that. This was the one that she developed when she first got here in October. Didn't do much, but then she quickly put out 2 more. And she's getting nice roots in the pot, so excited about her. Sun Circle, lovely new growth. And the Sun Circle and the Jane Austen I got from Jewel Orchids. And let's talk about Miss Minnie Purple back there. I need to take her out and see what's going on. I've had her since 2021. And that small growth right there is the one she started, and it just stalled. And then she started this one last year in 23, and that's as far as that one's gone. So I need to see what's going on with that one, because as you can tell, she is not a happy camper. Not at all. And then Miss Soft Clouds here, Miss Show Off. I just cut a spike a couple of weeks ago. She's got another spike, growing roots, and we have a beautiful little leaf in there. I got excited, guys, on my Ungrancum. I saw that a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, oh, it's going to be a spike, till I realized it was in the wrong place. It's at the bottom. And from what I understand, the spikes come in from in between the little leaf joints. But I did get excited for a hot minute. I moved the Psychopsis, if I can say. I told y'all I can't say words. But since I put her here with the brighter light, I love the modeling that's going on here. It's really coming out for her. I'm looking for a new growth on her because I did break a growth about a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago. She should be putting me out another one. My little seedling of Leopoldii is doing marvelously, if you don't mind me saying. Yes, it did actually have a couple of growths in there, but this is the only one that survived. This is the one that started growing when I first got her, so it is in a seedling pot still, and I let it just dry out prior to watering her. And then the Vandopsis, I was going to call it a Psychopsis, but it's a Vandopsis gigantica, is, the lighting in here is like awful today, I feel like. But her roots, look at this. Like she is really taking off. And look at all the new root growth going down in there. Loving it. Just loving it. And also a lovely new leaf I just noticed. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. Got them in May of 2023. And then not much else going on. Oh, shut up. Yes, there is. 1 second. Let me move over here. Sorry for the jiggle jangle there, but look what I don't know how I missed this, but look at this. Hold on. We have a spiky bud coming on our candy. Or no, this is the angel eyes. Look on that one. Another one that I got from the Denver Society's fall show. And down here, we just have growth. Just leaf growth. Nothing major going on down here. Nothing to write home about, really. Over here, again, everybody's just still the same as last week, except for this twinkle has opened. And I did put it next to the other twinkle. And really the only difference is these flowers are slightly bigger, but it's also a bigger plant with more energy because it looks just like this one. Oh, but the scent on this one is beautiful. It's not quite strong enough to like permeate the room, but standing right here, I can really smell that soft vanilla. And this is another one I'm kind of worrying about. This is my Naomi's Delight I got from Jewel Orchid back in 2021. I had, again, grown this one outside, and as you can see, the grasshopper damage. But she's got a new growth, but she looks horrible. Look at her. She just looks horrible. And Snowflake is going to be pushing out some color, well, some white color, but still. Look at that. Pretty. Muy pretty. I'm waiting for Royal Chip to explode. Let's see, what else do we have here? Sorry about that quick cut, but I had a cough fit come over me, so I am trying to get over, I think I had bronchitis, something going on. I'm trying to get over that, so if I sound a little out of breath, that's why. And all of a sudden I felt a cough coming on, so I just shut it off. So do apologize for that. Now, these ladies here, this is one of our ICPs from November. They're not opening. The buds aren't going to open, so I am going to cut both of these spikes, but just to kind of give you an idea. This is the one, and I believe you can find this one in the grocery store. I know I look like I'm doing this really rough, but I'm cutting them anyway. But she looks like she's going to be really gorgeous if she ever opens up. But I'll be cutting those because they're not going to open. I moved her to brighter light just to see if maybe that was it. Maybe it needed more light to open her blooms, but she's been sitting here for 2 weeks now and not a thing. And I moved, my gorgeous, look at this thing. Oh my goodness. I'm going to take her out of her pot and pull her over here so we can really look at her. Look how beautiful. This is my pink lip. I love that little purple in there. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Isn't she gorgeous? So the majority of the flowers are on the main stem that's kind of curled over like that. And then the branch has 3 blooms, which gives her that nice fullness. But oh my goodness, she is fantabulously gorgeous. I've had her since 21, and this is the first time that she's rebloomed for me. And yes, she has been watered. Now this one here, she dries out like every 3 days. So I'm going to have to do something else with her eventually. I'm not going to do it anytime soon. So what I also did was I had her in that pot there, which it kind of sat like this, allowing her to dry, get more airflow through but now I put her in this deeper pot so that she's still getting the airflow, but maybe it won't dry out as quickly. That's the thought anyway. And then look at this one. She's got this branch here. She's extending the main stem, so she'll be in bloom for quite some time. And I will continue to let her bloom unless I see some declining in the leaf area. Still waiting on this gorgeous lady here to bloom. I have forgotten what she looks like. I've had her since May of 21. This will be her first reblooming for me that I can remember. She might have rebloomed before, but it's been so long I forgot. And as much as I hate snow, the one thing that I am going to say good about snow is I love the reflection the sun pushes into here, because you can see how much brighter, like you go here and then all of a sudden, wham, this nice bright light is on you. I do appreciate that. I'll be cutting these white dendrobium blooms here in probably the next couple of days. They're not going over, but she does have that little nubbin down there that I want to go ahead and get started. My RHV Calmere, just, you know, just growing leaves. Oh, and then I don't know if you saw the repot on my Pearl Cooper here, and I'm moving it out of the glare, but I was saying that perhaps with this new media and freshening up, we might see some root growth. Look what we have on Miss Cakey. That's the Cakey pushing out a new root. I am excited for her. She's going to be supporting herself and helping Mama pay the rent. Look at her. She's just going to help Mama out. She's like, Mom, I appreciate all that you've done for me in the last few months, but now I'm going to contribute to the household, and I will grow some roots as well, so you don't have to do it all. Look at her loving on her Mama. That's the good news. The bad news is right here. So, yeah, my Certaruna did not make it. She didn't make it, but she will get replaced, and that is why I have not thrown away the plant or put the tag in the graveyard, because I'm going to replace it sooner rather than later. But I did put it on the floor so it'll stand out and I'll show you guys. So if you see her in future videos just sitting around somewhere, it's to help me remember I need to replace her, so I don't forget. And I think the next one I get, I'll just put on a mount, call it a day. Oh, and Nancy, you were asking about humidifiers. This is the one I was talking about. It's just I think it's actually supposed to be for like essential oils, but I just have plain water in there and I have it on intermittent. And like this one here, my Volcano Trick, needs a little more moisture because there's not a lot going on in the pot. So I don't know, I run it maybe 3 times a week, if that. To kind of help get extra moisture in this area. And plus, my philodendron here enjoys the extra humidity as well, as does the bulbophyllum, I'm pretty sure. And I think the bulbophyllum might be getting too much light because these leaves are just a little too pale. Could also be that it's just not getting anything because there's nothing in there. I'm waiting for some new growth on that. Fingers crossed. And then look what Super Spotty did. Oh, there it is. Put us out one more little bloom. Isn't that gorgeous? Isn't he just the cutest? I have heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't cut your Toluminous spikes until they brown because they will branch and do all that stuff. And that's all I got off of that one. But isn't she cute? And look at the leaf on this. This is the longest leaf that she's gotten. So I'm curious to see how fat it gets. Very curious to see how fat it gets. And then Miss Marasaki back here, or Mr. Marasaki. Look, we have 1 and 2 new growths on that one. So it may or may not bloom. I did kind of switch the Paphiopedilum spicerianum on this side just to give this more space because it was a little crowded over here. And then, oh, those blooms. Oh my goodness. Aren't those pretty? These are the Marasaki blooms. And they smell, they're not overpowering. I don't know, it's like a powdery smell. It's hard to describe, but they smell nice. They're not super fragrant, but they smell so pretty. And they are gorgeous. I love these things. This is actually much better than the last time it bloomed. All right, guys. Well, you have a great rest of your Saturday, and I'll see you next time.